What's going on? Welcome back to another edition. I'm Mike, and if you're brand new here, please consider hitting that red subscribe button just down below, because I'd love to see you again next time. But also, I do cover a lot of movies, Back to the Future, Adventure Days, and so many other cool stuff that I've got planned for the channel coming up very shortly, and I'd love to see you here once again. And in today's review, I'm talking about Jungle Cruise, which is the latest movie by Disney based on a theme park ride in America, which, for clarification, I've never actually been on. So yeah, Jungle Cruise itself stars Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Emily Blunt, also has Jack Whitehall, out of all people, and also the director is Jaume Collet-Serra, if I pronounce that correctly. And Jaume Collet-Serra is mainly known for directing a lot of Liam Neeson movies. So I was really intrigued into this movie because the plot of it overall, as it's being based on a theme park ride. However, the plot itself is Emily Blunt's character Lily wants a cruise kind of operator to take her through the Amazon, who is played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson's character called Frank, to find this kind of magical tree that has powers of it that can actually really heal people. So what can I honestly say about Jungle Cruise? For most part, it's kind of just a dumb action adventure movie. I think that's the best way I can truly put this, summarising it overall. So let's get straight into my positives. Firstly, Emily Blunt as Lily Horton, and of course Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Frank. The chemistry, awesome. Really does transpire throughout the screen and throughout the duration of this movie. And I also like the fact that Emily Blunt, because being honest, if they ever wanted to make a female Indiana Jones movie, now I'm not saying that I want that or don't want that, but if they ever did, I would cast Emily Blunt in a heartbeat, and she proves in this movie that she can truly do that. And to be honest, she's the best part of Jungle Cruise, because don't get me wrong, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is probably the best he's been in years, because for me, I love The Rock in his early movies, say like Walking Tall or Welcome to the Jungle or The Rundown. What I will say about The Rock is his latest kind of action movies, I'm not a huge fan of. I've never wanted to revisit them. I've always thought that The Rock, even if you go back to his kind of earlier career, always does well in kind of like an adventure kind of style movie, because I generally feel like in those kind of movies he has more of a personality. You actually kind of can care about his character and can really relate to him more, because Dwayne The Rock Johnson definitely shines a lot in comedy, especially if you go back to his wrestling days. A lot of his promos were about comedy. Also, Jack Whitehall's performance as McGregor, as this kind of pretentious brother character, for most part, I actually didn't mind it. It definitely provided some of the comic relief. I generally liked the jungle aspects of it, and there's definitely some beautiful scenery throughout, whether it's on the water or whether it's actually in the jungle itself. That is really fascinating and truly kind of a sight to behold. The nickname that The Rock gives Emily Blunt's character in this Lily Horton is Pants. That's just dumb. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for nicknames in movies. I'm all for kind of different names than the actual character's name. The expression itself is used far too many times in this movie, to the point where it gets just too repetitive. The comedy in this movie, so for some parts it does work, but at other parts it was a bit cringy, but especially I think because of the script. Now I know that this is a Disney movie and it's probably made more for like PG kind of family friendly movie, and the comedy is forced. One thing I dislike about movies a lot is when they do comedy lines, but it's completely forced or just seems completely out of place. And I think several times throughout the Jungle Cruise movie, we get that a bit too much. Also, there's definitely some CG shots where, especially more towards the end of the movie, really you can tell The Rock or Emily Blunt is stood in front of a blue or a green screen. Throughout the entire movie, at some points, the pacing kind of slows down a lot. Now, for me, I really love the first act of this movie because it's mainly focused on kind of the theme park ride, and definitely The Rock's personality and kind of like just little quips that he has are awesome. But unfortunately, the pacing is a little bit hit and miss, which kind of stops this full-on adventurous movie from being kind of a big smash success. Is my overall score for Jungle Cruise is... If you enjoyed this review, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But what I'd also like to know is, have you seen Jungle Cruise? If you have, what were your thoughts on the movie? Did you enjoy it? Were you kind of mixed on it? Leave them below and let's start a discussion and let's talk about this movie a little bit more. But until the next time that you guys see me, I'll be seeing you later.